sequel. And if you want to get a good laugh out of this, check out this label. Let me see if this shows up in the stream here. Do you see the price on there? I bought this for $4.69. Can you imagine paying that for a TurboGrafx game these days? $4.69. It even still has the date that they labeled it, June 21st, 2004. So I bought this exactly one day after my 30th birthday. Or wait, did I buy it on that day, or was that label just created on that day? It could be. I don't know what to tell you with that one. I may have actually bought it after that. That may just be the day it was labeled. So, never mind me. That may just be the day that they put the inventory out. But still, heck of a coincidence. Anyway, time for Bonk's Revenge. Don't you wish you could get TurboGrafx games for this price these days? By request of Sir Crunch in the chat, at SIRKRUNCH on Twitter, it's time for Bonk's Revenge, copyright 1991 Hudson Soft, from NEC. Expert, intermediate, or practice? It didn't even give me a chance to select it, it just immediately started. There's cat hair all over my controller, man. Thanks, Tango. Let me reset this because I actually want to select the difficulty. Don't just automatically choose it for me. That's not fair. Intermediate. I don't want to go all the way to expert. The controls seem to be a little bit tighter in this Bonk compared to the first one. That's just my opinion, but it feels a little bit tighter. How do I get up to that next section? Do I climb? What's the path here? The trees? I don't remember. There's got to be a way to climb up here, right? Can I just bite the wall and grab on? In the first game, you could bite the wall. Well, the edge of a wall. Oh, what is Chris saying here? Hey, I was one of those crazed fans that happily handed out $70 for NBA Jam Tournament Edition on SNES, and that was big bucks in the 90s. Yeah, that's like $150 now. I was telling Michelle that when we were over at the Game Vault today. I was like, you know all these games that I'm buying here today for like $5 or $10? These were $70 games in the 90s back when they were brand new for Super Nintendo, so not only are they cheap compared to then, they're even cheaper compared to inflation. Oh, is it the waterfall? Yeah, I go up the waterfall. The last thing I ever would have thought of. The waterfall is how you scale the level. Well, at least I figured it out. Again, you can tell I haven't played some of these games in quite the while since my TurboDuo, I should say, has been on the fritz. Actually, I have a TurboGrafx as well, but I'm pretty sure that it would need to have the capacitors replaced, because if my Turbo Express and my TurboDuo both needed it, there's little question that my TurboGrafx would need it as well. I'm trying to remember if I got my TurboGrafx from my friend Dan, aka Vivitar, or if I got it online. I think I might have gotten it from Dan. I think he had one he wasn't using that he sold me for 40 or 50 bucks. That's the way I seem to remember it. Alright, where's the waterfall here? Because I can only go up using the waterfalls. So let's knock out these sleeping egghead looking dudes. Climb up the waterfall. In this case, you do go chasing waterfalls. Uh-oh. Big rolling boulder here. I'm assuming there's another one. Yep. Okay, cleared the first stage. Now what do we got going on? There's a fruit up here if I can time the jump. Yeah, give me that fruit or flower or whatever it is. Now we got some enemies that are actually awake. That one has a butterfly net. There's some charm in these games to the way the enemies are designed. Very charming. Now when you eat meat in the Bonk games, it powers you up. And if you eat enough of it, you go into an invincibility rage. Yes, meat makes him angry, and it also makes him strong and unbeatable. Apparently, it also makes him throw fire in this one. I didn't even remember that was a thing. Well, it only made him throw fire for a little bit. So it was working kind of like a fire flower for a very short amount of time. Ah, an upper section and bouncy clouds, which makes it a little more difficult to bonk the enemies. And I think I just found a bonus stage. Hop through the glaciers. Don't slip. Whee. Okay. Don't slip, it says. Ugh. You lose momentum on the ice. And I slipped. So, that's a short bonus stage. But hey, at least I got to a bonus stage. I'll take that. And back down again. See what I mean about cute design with the enemies? Come on, you Mickey Pickies. You die now. Ah, that one wasn't a power-up. It was an enemy. Speaking of enemies, got a egghead dude riding a dinosaur. Gonna have to bonk you. Bonk, I say. You are getting bonked. I'm getting bonked. Yay, I beat him. I wonder if this was a $70 game back in the day. I didn't own a TurboGrafx in the era, so I don't actually know what the prices were for games back then. Although, commercially speaking, it has to be said that the PC Engine did way better in Europe and Japan than its North American TurboGrafx counterpart did, so they may have heavily discounted these games just to try to get anybody to buy the games or the system. I should watch an old Norm the Gaming Historian video about the TurboGrafx launch in America and see at which point they started to discount it. I know they did with the TurboDuo eventually when they released it as a successor, because the market was already drying up for the regular TurboGrafx, but they still had to release the sequel to it for some reason. And then they handed it off from NEC to a company called TTI for all of the sales and marketing. And they were not making very many games and not selling very many games, and things just continued to spiral downward. And that's why some of those Super CD games are really hard to find and really expensive and not currently a part of my collection, because you can spend hundreds of dollars for some of those late release TurboGrafx, TurboDuo, whatever you want to call them games. because technically they will work on a TurboGrafx 16 if you use the CD drive attachment and the not the arcade card, whatever the other card is called, but you need to have a Hue card in the slot that enables you to play the CD games. The arcade card I'm referring to is for some Japanese exclusive games. There are like 15 or 20 enhanced games that, well, there are more enhanced games, I should correct that. There are some games that only work with the arcade card in Japan, and there are others that work with or without it, but have some enhanced graphics or enhanced features with it. So, hopefully that clarifies it just a little bit. Okay, hamburger. Is that a power-up? Is that a meat power-up? Nope, that's just points. But what the heck. Burgers and fries. In the middle of a caveman exploring a castle. Why not? Like I said, there's a charm, a whimsy, a silliness to the Bonk games, which is part of why they're so much fun to play. Boy, how many fireballs do I have to hit this guy with? All it seems to do is freeze him. It doesn't really do anything else. But now I've gotten 2 meat power-ups, so I should be invincible. Yes, that means you die. And you die. Collect fruits. At least you're eating fruits along with your meat, not just meat. Oh, spikes. They're trying to make it challenging here. That looked like a switch I could flip, but apparently not. Oh, fireballs! Yeah. Suddenly this just got a little bit crazy. This looks like a hidden area. Yeah, there we go. A heart for health. It's burgers and fries. Alright, platform me up. Oh, I should have known there were spikes there. That's my mistake. That section kind of reminds me of part of Axiom Verge. I've been spending a lot of time playing that of late. I just beat Athetos last night. Sorry I didn't stream it. I was playing it on the Switch, which I don't have the setup to stream right now. Maybe if this channel really takes off, I can do some of those kind of features. Ah, the meat's out of reach. I lost it. What a rip. And now the platforms have fireballs too. Well, Chris hasn't said anything in a little while. I hope he's still watching. If anybody else is lurking in the chat room, drop in, say hi, don't be shy. YouTube.com/MMF187. This is Mr. MegaManFan. Real name is Steve. My buddy Chris, kayfabe name Sir Crunch, is watching me play these classic turbo games, or PC Engine games, whatever you choose to call them. I'm fighting this Mickey Picky dinosaur boss with the volcano on his back. Kind of a cross between a dino and a turtle. Where are these fireballs going to land? I know they're coming down. I just couldn't avoid that one no matter how hard I tried. Boy, how many hits does this guy take? Can I jump on the volcano? No, I can't. So, that was a bad executive decision. Come on, how many more hits is this going to take? Yeah, I got him! With like 1 heart left. Still watching. Right on, dude. Hey, I asked this question before. I'll ask it again since we're playing a much better, much more fun game than Adam's Family right now. So, what gear would you pair with this particular game?